What's up? What's up? What's good? What's up? What's good? What's up? Good. Good. What's up? Hey, y'all. It's me, Wanda. Let me put my name up here because I could do that. I forgot how to do that. I think it's here. I'm so happy to have my face out and show you my face. I would love to see your face too. I've been seeing some faces, but they haven't been your face. I really don't know where that went. I came here to talk to y'all and share stuff with y'all, and I'm excited to see y'all. If you're in the Facebook group, Black Women Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs, then hey, girl. I'm also streaming on YouTube, and then I also got a little Twitter action going. I think who we got up in here today? Hey, Miss Kathy, Miss G. I've been meaning to message you. I have wanted to hear how you are, so thank you for coming through today. Okay, there I am. That took only 1,700 hours for me to figure out how to do that. So, hey, girl, you here to get my tea or you here to give me some tea? Which is it? Maybe it could be both. Very good to see you too, Miss Kathy. Very good to see you too, Miss D. Let me just check on something. I think on Facebook, if you are trying to holla at your girl, then you're gonna have to opt in or something like that. I don't know if I've ever actually done that. I think it gives you the directions for how to do that. So yeah. But yes, happy to be here. I'm having a little bit of tea. It is 8:00 in the evening on my side of the world. I'm thankful for that time change. It was 9 hours, now it's only 8 hours. So whoop whoop. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I will let that do what it does. I wanted to talk to you all today about a lot of stuff. Where have I been? I've been creeping into 2022. And I spell that like 2020 and then like TOO because it's very much felt like that. It's like we've been in a Groundhog's Day for the last couple of years. Hey, Stacey Ann, thank you for coming. I'm drinking Roselle tea, Miss Kathy. So the hibiscus flower, I found it here. So I've been buying up bags of it like it's going out of style and brewing it religiously. So yeah, I've just really been creeping into the year, and it's my first winter in some years, and just kind of resting. Mostly it has been chill, but there come those moments of frustration because I'm ambitious. I'm an ambitious type of girl. So I've had some stuff that's been circling around me like, okay, girl, but you said you wanted to do this thing, so like, when we gonna do this thing? And I'm like, girl, I don't know, because it's cold. I don't think you're supposed to do stuff when it's cold. My body is telling me that the cold means no. So since I guess December, really, I intentionally took some time off, and then I was like, all right, we about to, how if you ever play like double dutch or even just like regular jumping rope, you like waiting for your turn to like jump in, and I just feel like I'm just very much like on the side, or like I'll just watch somebody else play and like go sit down somewhere because like it's just not coming. So I thought that things would wake up sooner than they have been, and they haven't, which is cool because it's actually giving me some time to like just live and reflect and not necessarily be in motion so much and taking action so much and manifesting so much. So it's been like a nice kind of down period of that, I think. of being able to, and maybe that's what the season was intended for. I think a lot of people are just like tired as well. So I've heard people talking about the time changes like last fall and then, just last week for those of citizens of the world that changed last week. Some people change at different times during the year in various countries. Um, and it's just like, girl, one more change. What else? What one more change? Like, I can't take one more change. Um, where I am, the time didn't change. So I don't know that I cared. But it's just like, yeah. So I've just been kind of vibing and letting myself vibe. And I've been showing up. So, that last December during the International Black Women Travel Jubilee, we started the Black Women Travel Mastermind, which launched in January. And that's probably also partly why I've been chilling because that has been so fulfilling, so satisfying. It's been so massively wonderful to connect. I feel like all the ladies are so like-minded in various ways and very different in various ways too, which makes for great contribution. They're different ages and have different focuses but they're all like really talented and just really introspective, really smart, and just, you know, I don't know what they call it, putting pen to paper, like they're just going through their processes of exploring how they're showing up, of exploring what soul work, what I call soul work, means to them. This is the stuff that's just inside you that you just want to explore, and it brightens who you are as a person because it is an expression of the depths of you. I call it the magic of your marrow. So that has been, man, woman, that has been just like massively fulfilling to be in community with them in that kind of way. This is the stuff that I've always wanted. I look at like, I have drafts of stuff just like sitting around, in Canva or, in folders on my laptop or whatever. And this is definitely something that was a draft for quite some time. So maybe because I had that, like I wasn't out in these streets trying to create anything else necessarily or keep up anything else that I had momentum going behind from last fall. So it's just been like really, really dope. It's been really dope to have those ladies. So we've been meeting every single week since I think, second Saturday in January. So that's about to come to a close, but maybe just temporarily. So some of the ladies want to continue, and that's really exciting. So I'm really, really excited about that, being able to connect with them in that way and keep that going. Let me check something real quick to make sure I knew. All right, there we go. Okay, let me check. Hey, Siobhan, thanks for coming. Hey, Krishan from Black Seed Global, thanks for coming through. Hey, Melinda. Hey, Manny. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, the mastermind is fantastic, wonderful. Thank you, Siobhan. So that's what Wanza has been up to. There's like people in December I told I would catch up with in January, and here it is about to be April. And I ain't sent a connection email yet, but it's for the better because you might not want me right now. Okay. No, but I'm starting to do stuff again. So you'll have seen the podcast like updated, and like clearly I'm doing this right now. We've been having our regular events. January and February we had our events. So yeah, things are good. You'll see some activity in the group as well, the Black Women Digital Nomad Entrepreneurs Group. I've asked some of the ladies to be classified as experts, and then some of their own initiative have been reaching out. posing questions, like inviting people to ask questions and stuff like that. And I love that. Love that. There was a specific thought I wanted to share with you. And it's something that I'm kicking around, and I guess it's been stewing like in the background a little bit. Hey, Nadia. Hey, girl. Nadia is also on the mastermind. So, this is what's been kicking around for me recently, and it's that because of who we have collectively been as Black women, because us being able to show up raggedy, show up unpolished, show up just not perfect, I think it has been difficult for us to embrace the idea that people want us in that way. Well, not that way, but that way. And that they are happy to pay you for being that person. So that's giant. A lot of people build community, they build audiences, they build, products and services around the person that they are and the stuff that they're into. And a lot of people are able to do it in a way to where they still have their own personal lives. So it's not having to sell, your DNA or your social security number online. You don't have to open up so much in order to allow people to connect with you. But I believe that in the back of our minds, we have been told that who we are inherently is not acceptable as you are. And so what I see happening is reaching for certifications, reaching for remote jobs, reaching for more education, getting a degree in something because this is the path that is known. This is the path that is considered more safe versus the soul work that I talk about, the magic of your marrow, the stuff that is in you and has been sitting in you that you can monetize, right? Um, and I think that is simple but heavy because not many have been able to embrace it. And then, you think about all the other systemic stuff that happens for why you may, as a Black woman, feel not as safe creating a product or a service around yourself and your talent, which I won't go into because ultimately that stuff doesn't matter. Ultimately, that stuff doesn't matter. Systemic issues are going to exist. They have existed. They probably will exist. I'm sorry to tell you that. And you still show up and you still do what you need to do because I think that there is something to be said about receiving the support that you're after by focusing on the parts that you can control. Right? So, what does that look like for you? How can you embrace more of who you are, accept more of who you are, and step into this place where you say, I want to do tours. I want to create a makeup line. I want to create some courses around a specific topic. I want to whatever that looks like. And sky's the limit, right? How can you give yourself permission to step into that? What does that look like? How can you be your own fan and love yourself through that process? Because so that's one part of it that like subconsciously, societally, culturally, we have not seen ourselves able to show up in an imperfect way, right? Then the other part is that the process. So I'm sure you've heard like, just enjoy the process, and like the outcome is going to be what the outcome is. You have to let go of a specific desired outcome. But it's like, okay, but you're telling me I have to have goals, but then like don't worry about the outcome. Like, how does that match up? But it does. Because what happens is a lot of times we get caught up in how we want a thing to look versus recognizing how there are elements of that thing within our life already. And so as it relates to business, it's like I want to I want to create courses and I want to sell them. And so you put yourself out there, but perhaps because of the first part, you're not really putting yourself out there. The first part being you believing that you're not going to be accepted. So if that's running subconsciously in your mind and you show up and you're trying to sell a course, you ain't really putting your back into it because you already think that people aren't going to accept you. And so that's why this process is so dope, because the business is the bonus. The thing that you get is yourself out of this soul work because you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And like if you're doing it right, quote unquote, right, if you are open minded and exploring, then you are finding out things about yourself and you are massaging away the tenseness that life has built into your muscles, into your ligaments, into the creases of your eyes, um, so that you can show up. That's the ultimate journey. That's a ticket that has like it's invaluable. Like you can't put a price on that because having yourself as you're going through this process, having yourself, building your confidence, building the trust inside yourself, building your skills in some sense, maybe not so much the skills, but believing in your talent. Because I mean, like, so I compare Black American culture to like every other culture in the world, right? Because that's the one I know. I don't find other cultures to be particularly warm. Some are when it comes to like touchy feely, but I think most all cultures lack when it comes to amping people up. Like, wow, you did such a good, like, they're not particularly affirming. You did such a good job. Wow, like, celebrate those small wins. Woo, woo, woo. Like, great going. Like, whatever. Like, I don't even know what it sounds right. Like, so it's like, if you haven't had that, you're able to give that to yourself as you are putting yourself out there, as you're being a bit vulnerable and stepping out and like really, really going for this thing. And so it's that process. It's never like, yes, you have like, yes, we talk about goals a little bit and like what purpose they serve in terms of you manifesting whatever it is that you want. But yeah, girl, you get yourself. I don't even think that travel does that as much. Not on a unconscious level, on a subconscious level, maybe because you go somewhere else and like the energy is different. I think that's the first thing we feel. It's like energy is different here. And then maybe in the interactions, like maybe somebody doesn't follow you around in the store, or maybe in speaking with someone there aren't a lot of assumptions that they make when they speak to you. So your guard is down a bit more, right? You're a bit more just present, perhaps, when you're traveling. I don't know. How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comments. When you travel to another place, what are the feelings that you have when you land there? So I think on a subconscious level, when you travel, you get that. But on a conscious level, when you are working out these knots, when you are letting that tension, if you are allowing that tension to melt away and put yourself out there and put a price tag on it and persist and let it grow and change in all these magnificent ways that it can, then like that's everyday life. That's the life that you're building. That's the life that you're actually living. So what are y'all saying in the comments? Hey Sassy Diva, what's up, girl? Hey Junkat. The business is the bonus. There's so much more that you from building a business. Yes. Hey Desiree, happy spring to you too, girl. Kathy says the energy in another place is great, but it can be a distraction. Yeah. You have a clock, right? So you have a specific amount of time that you're going to be gone. And so I don't know that you like let yourself, plus you were like moving around a little bit. So I don't know that you like for real relaxed into the experience. Because you had stuff to do and like, I don't know. You let me know. It can be a distraction because it's not meant to be a distraction. But maybe you felt that pull. So many talk about like, oh, like I have work to do, but I'm in this beautiful location and like I want to explore. And so the being torn between, working and exploring, which I think y'all can do. Okay, you better be careful on your phone. Talking about you driving home. So those are the two parts. How others have seen us historically and us being able to see ourselves differently so that we can show up and not have to be perfect. And working on that. And that I think that comes from a lot of self-love. That comes from a lot of being grounded and centered and showing up with wobbly knees. Again, building that trust, building that confidence in yourself, seeing your talent, knowing your worth, knowing that who you are and what you already know has value. Like I talked about the certifications and like getting degrees and maybe reaching for a remote job and stuff like that. But it's like, there's so much you already know and you just sitting on it. I was talking to this dude and I was saying that when people live in a place, so wherever you're from, you're not probably going to think that's very interesting. You've lived there. You probably stopped, if you ever started exploring. The food isn't interesting to you, but it's like when a traveler comes to a place, everything is new and everything can potentially be exciting, and they have a different lens. They see it with fresh eyes versus someone who's from there. It becomes dull, or it never was sharp to begin with. And so you're just in a routine versus having that wide eyed curiosity about where you are. So if you applied that to the stuff that you've experienced in life, it's a gold mine. How did you figure out how to make it this far in life? There are some real skills that are there that translate directly to money if you let it. But you have to see yourself first. You have to recognize that there's so much stuff that you've experienced, so much knowledge that you've picked up along the way. And I mean, maybe because some of it was hard won, some of it was, it didn't come easily to you. Like you had to really work for it. So maybe there's some bad feelings about that, like, man, I had to, what I reached, like my bank account was zero or whatever. And like, that was a really painful lesson. And so perhaps that could also cloud you being able to see it as something that's amazing and wonderful. But that's the transmutation, right? Taking something that even it doesn't have to be painful, joy, and turning it into more joy, taking the pain, turning it to joy. So that is something I wanted to offer as well. So that's the first part, showing up and not having to be perfect. And then again, the second part is understanding that with the journey of you showing up and not being perfect, you're becoming more you. I think it accelerates it really. Because I don't know that there's any other type of environment, like a job is not going to do this for you because it's a box and there are, I don't know, like a set, whatever. They only want so much out of you. They're just taking like 10% of your brain for 100% of your time, pretty much, I feel like. And so, but with this, you get 100% of yourself. And sure, it can feel stretchy at times because it's like, man, there's 47 jobs I'm doing and I'm new at 45 of them. Like, so, like, yes, it can. But I mean, even you get to decide that part. I don't, it's this constant process of what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? So that you're not spending a whole lot of time trying to learn TikTok if that's just not going to be your jam or like whatever that looks like, you know? So I love that. I love that idea that that is what it means to be in flow. That's what it means for you to be able to fully express yourself, fully evolve, and it's you're evolving out loud. And like how fantastic is that? Fully express yourself, fully evolve. Self actualization is a word that's coming to mind as well. I don't even think this happens in relationships because a lot of times in relationships, y'all just trying to, what I'm saying, keep things civil, you know what I mean? It depends on the partner you have, of course, which we ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, I'm just not really sure. Even with kids, I think, not that I have any, but I imagine there's just a lot of time spent providing for their moment to moment needs and protecting and taking care of. So it's not, I don't know. I think in ways you're pushed to your limits, especially in the beginning, the lack of sleep and the tiredness. And you have the breastfeeding, I hear is quite the beast. But I don't know that maybe it pushes you just in a different way. But I don't know that anything else self actualizes you in the way that doing your soul work does. I think that's pretty fantastic. Which is I'm out. Hey Angela, hey girl. Kathy said, "You're correct. I had a little time and am new to travel. Building my business has been a part of bifurcated goal." Yeah. When there's a clock on it, I feel like Kathy's on a sabbatical. She's in Portugal. If I could tell your business, sorry, I should ask permission first. But when there's a clock on it, when you're taking a specific amount of time off and you have a couple of things you're trying to do at the same time, then there's like this guilt and like being new to it. So like I could tell you about the first time I left and how that was a dumpster fire, but it was my dumpster fire and I didn't do it again. Krishan said, "You have to be clear about what you want. Discovering your authentic self is the gift. That is the point. It's almost impossible. You're lucky to be able to do that with another partner." It's child. Because they have to know themselves, you dig? So, like, if the other person doesn't know themselves, they're not comfortable in themselves, then they ain't really got a whole lot to give you. And then, like, depending on what you got going on, like, you may not be all that either. So, there's this, like, what do I call it? What's the name? Ideal, I guess, just like an ideal relationship in my head where there's just like this wonderful energy of back and forth and like solutions and like problem solving. Like, does that exist with another person? I do need new. Nadia says, "Shedding the protective armor that we wear to navigate the US, we just don't need it in other places of the world, at least not as much of it. LOL." talk about it. Yes, that was a question I was asking earlier. Is that how you all feel when you leave? Are you able to redirect your energy so that you're not? That's good. The armor. That's really good. So, those are some interesting ideas that I've been having. I've also been thinking about like even in that process of business, right? Business process. Whew. So y'all know I hadn't been talking to white people. I just hadn't. I didn't see the need for it. And then I started last year around this time, probably just like talking to white people. And mostly white people, not even the of colors, not white people. What it do, DG? Um, there's such a soullessness. There's such a prescriptiveness when it comes to a lot of the stuff that they do. And for better or worse, they are tactics and strategies that I just haven't been able to employ because they are so soulless. You know, people getting you into their funnel and, you know, the listicles, which they just lack. You know, honey, if you don't know me by now, depth, nuance, depth, nuance. And that's not what they're giving. But I can see how that can have a mass appeal as well. So I have been kicking that around a little bit. Who created these systems that we're trying to parrot? Who created the idea of a funnel? Like, is this marketing back from the 1960s or the 50s? Like, who came up with that? You know, I believe Black people created everything, and perhaps we just haven't been credited. But I don't know that a Black person created this and made it this capitalistic, soulless parts of a machine in order to create money. So I have been thinking about that quite a bit. How a lot of the spaces and a lot of the businesses in the language that they use, it's quite indirect, it's quite surface, it's quite just not substantive. It's not soul food. It's, you know, cotton candy or something like that. And so, in trying to parrot that and trying to push yourself into these systems and processes that someone else created before, that was perhaps not Black, what are we leaving behind? And the whole purpose for me, specifically when it comes to soul work, is to bring my whole self into the room. So that's something I just want to stick to you a little bit because I think what happens is when you start, you know, it's super normal. You just kind of look around at what's there and then you maybe dissect it and you pull out the pieces that you want to use for your own. But I would still argue that some of the pieces you may just need to create yourself, but you have to get your hands in the sand in order to understand. Not me dropping bars. Put your hands in the sand in order to understand. You know what I'm saying? Album dropping next month, y'all. um, to understand exactly how that can look. So it's great to know what you don't want to do. So it's like, okay, Wanda, you don't want to go that route. There still has to be something in place in order to get a person from point A to point B. What can that look like for you? And I think like largely I've kind of created that and perhaps it needs more attention and fine tuning and all that good stuff. But that is something that caught the puzzle part of my mind that likes puzzles. Like why okay, so that's what's out there and is this something that you can replicate? Not really. Not because I can't, because I don't want to. But what does it look like for you to again get a person from point A to point B in the process? But Does that make sense to y'all? Like, let me know in the comments. Because I'm sure some of you, and some of that can seem intimidating. It was an exercise I gave the ladies in the mastermind as well. I said, go and find a creator that's either right up your alley in terms of like personality and perhaps how they present their business online. Or you could find somebody who's like totally different, and you can also learn from whatever it is that they're putting out there. So, and then like think about how they get a person from point A to point B, um, to that cart, to that check to the deck. But let me know if that makes sense to you all. Checking my notes real quick. I have a really good newsletter coming out for y'all too. Yeah. So some of that I'm just gonna write to y'all. But yes, let me get some tea. Hold on. Not y'all singing my song. Krishan said, "Who said everything should be free?" Wait, what you mean? What it do? So good to see you back. Thank you, girl. Who said everything should be free? So that's my life update, I guess. Not a whole lot going on. Just hanging out with the ladies in the mastermind and, thinking and feeling as usual. Also living a little bit. So I'm at a new location. I haven't really told folks in the group directly. I told the mastermind ladies and I told the collective members who are on Patreon. So they always get my tea first. Let me just check on you all over here. I would love to hear from y'all, hear what y'all been up to. We're going to get back to doing some other kind of events other than the monthly, so I can see what y'all got going on these days. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay, I think that's good. It's quite a lot going on, is it? Because I just been from one nap to the next nap. Man, I got to go out and get groceries. Well, after this nap. It's pretty much the flow. But I am really joyful. I'm happy to have moved from Albania. I am happy to be like mostly settled now, and I've been very torn when it comes to, of course, there are terrible things happening all around the world. Terrible, terrible. But I'm still finding joy because I think that joy is important. If you are not feeling well, you're not able to think of solutions and think of ways that you can help in whatever way you choose to help, in whatever way you want to help. Every issue is not everybody's mantle to take up. So I've been joyful. I find myself catching myself being in the moment, and that's really dope. A lot of times the mindfulness practice, it just really blows me that we have a whole practice around being present. We had to create a practice to be present because that wasn't our natural practice. We had to say, hey, get out of your head, get out of the past, get out of the future, and feel your heartbeat and actually take a deep breath. It really blows me. I just find it so ironic that the thing that we're supposed to do, like, we have to make ourselves do, and we're not always great at that. I hate meditating. I'm not good at it. Sorry if that's you. But I have been catching myself being very present and in a different way than I was being in Albania. And it's been juicy. It's been quite delicious. So, and yes, I'll tell you part why as well, because it has to do with the landscape, which requires all of my attention. um, oh, okay. So Krishan said, meaning a lot of Black content creators get stuck in the trap of giving away things for free, and white content creators often profiting off of our labor. Say all of that. We are the trendsetters. We are the creator of online sensationalism. So yeah, it is important to put a price tag on it. I think for a lot of us, it has been tricky to walk into that. I had something that I wrote down and I was thinking about this because I be thinking. And some of you have gone through the process of getting rid of stuff in your house. Okay, this is good. Are y'all sitting? Are you listening? So you're going through the process of getting rid of stuff in your house and you decide that there's some stuff you want to sell. And so your starting point from that is usually, how much did I pay for it? Well, I originally paid $300 for this. So I've had it for this long, so I'll take 200. So you're starting off at a point where someone else set the value for whatever it was that you bought at whatever time the market could allow for that price. So prices are made up all over the world. You saw they're doing that with gas right now. There's no shortage. They just decided to up the price because they could. Same gas. Some are saying it's worse. Some are saying it's lasting less in the tank. I don't know. That's not my life. So very interesting. Your starting point is the value someone else placed on it that you were willing to pay, and you are knocking some of that price off in order to offer it as used, but that's still not something that you actually said. It's just whatever was going on in the market at the time. So if you think about that, not necessarily with the new versus used, but you can charge whatever you want, girl. That's the whole point. Once you start to see the value that the things that you know, the things that you can do are worth something, whatever price you come up with first, multiply that times 10, please. Please. And sometimes the market won't, it didn't, you also have to, you got to sell. So you got to tell people. And all selling is just telling people about the value. Like, hey, I spent this amount of time learning this. Super excited to share with you guys. You're going to get this, and this out of it. If you've gotten any of my free stuff, then you know I'm a person who creates quality, whatever. You have to tell yourself and them to get the buy-in, but you'll see if they're willing to pay or not. And then you can adjust it from there. But like, ask for your worth. For real, for real. But I do think the whole, especially, I think the whole analogy of like selling your stuff is super relevant for a lot of folks right now. Because you're either going to have to do it or you just did it. Yeah. And that also goes back to, you know, how when you're going through and you getting rid of stuff and the stuff you're going to donate versus sell, you just forget how much you accumulate. It's the same, like what I was saying about you seeing yourself to remember all of the skills you've learned in this journey of life. There's some 20-year-olds who have no idea about the stuff that you know that want that. There are some 50-year-olds who have no idea about the stuff that you learned that want to know that. Oh, Kathy, thank you. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Sassy DJ. Siobhan, what you said, girl? You said, please share more about how it is to be living in Albania. What are the people, food, geography like? Girl, Junkett said we're always looking ahead and we don't appreciate what's around. That is all the way true. So Siobhan, I did do a video when I first got there. I should do an update video since I've left because places change as you as you fall in and out of love with various things. I want to write something about this and it's specific to digital nomadism. So like staying in a place for a year, that's a nice amount of time. I think you learn more about it over a year than you do in 3 months, which is the amount of time we usually get. And if you don't do visa runs and stuff like that. So I do need to do an update. But generally speaking, I did not find the people. It's like if you're not family, then they don't care. So I didn't find them to be warm. People say that they're warm. I don't know. It must be white people saying that because they are not warm to me. And that could also just be a me thing. My skin, my hair, my body, my spirit or whatever. You might have a totally different reaction. They may treat you like Beyonce. That's the people. The food, delicious. Okay? Delicious. And I miss the brandy. I will tell you this for the rest of my life. That is my soul liquor, and I miss it very much. I have to find out how to get some, but so maybe more in the summer. I'm a vegetarian, so the fruits and veggies, most of it, maybe all of it was local. The peaches, when it was watermelon season, you better believe, honey, at the store every day. Well, not every day, but a couple times a week, because those watermelons was big, girl. So that was really yummy. I was able to just eat more raw, coming from Asia with the rice and the noodles, and like most stuff is just cooked, very cooked. So it was nice to have like fresh stuff. They got other stuff, but I should write about this too, but it's like your palate changes as you move around. So it's like stuff that you're wild about in one location, you're wild about something else in another location. Um, but yes, the food was delicious. The bakery culture there is really nice. There's something called Birrick. There's a Birrick made with leek. I only found that towards the end. It was like a specialty shop. Every shop like serves the same stuff but different. So it's like everybody, grandma got a different kind of recipe. They put a different spin on the same dish. It was kind of hard in the little town where I was to get the home cooked, like famous dishes. In the city, like they have restaurants for that, but in the little town where I was, they didn't have that. And the geography is it's a mountain. It's just one big giant mountain. So in the summer, it was. So I came from Malaysia. Malaysia was just a consistent sweaty armpit year round, right? You just sitting there sweating, no reason. There, like the shade mattered. If you stepped out of the shade, you were going to get fried. So it felt like being under a magnifying glass. It was hot, 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 hot. And then I got the winter. I was there December and January, and it was horrible just because of the construction of the buildings. So it was just like you could never get warm. They also smoke inside, so it was harder to go to the cafes I like to go to because it was nasty. That's nasty. You just walk in and like smell like a cigarette. Plus, sometimes they didn't even have heating in there either. So like they didn't believe in heating and they didn't believe in building buildings made for the cold after all this time on Earth. And I still can't wrap my head around it. So overall, that's what it was. But yeah, you could go check out that video. I blathered on and on about, cost of living and all that other type of stuff. Sam wanted some brandy. Yeah, please. You love Birrick? Yes. Birrick was everything. This brandy was made from grapes. So I think in America, it was clear. I think in America, the brandy is made from wine. And so it's usually, brown, it's a brown liquor. But this was clear. I think it was made from actual grapes, not wine. And it tasted terrible. Like you could probably put it in the gas tank. Like it tasted terrible. But child, when it hit, woo, like I'll just be listening to Montero cleaning up my apartment. just having a good old time. All alone. But yes, that was that. Yes. So I am living in the moment and enjoying it and happy to connect with you all again and some more. Brandy sounds like a corn liquor. I don't know about that. I don't know about no corn liquor. Corn liquor. Is that what was that stuff called that people was drinking and they wasn't supposed to be? That clearly Everclear? Ugh. Is that a corn liquor? Yeah, it was clear. It was a clear brandy. So good, so delicious in my body. It wasn't good on the outside. On the inside, it was fine. What other questions y'all got? Moonshine. I think every country has a version of moonshine. All right, y'all. So that's me. I'm alive and cute. I don't know if y'all caught these. Have y'all caught these curls? Let me get in here. She growed out from that terrible haircut. I don't know. Oh, that was a bad haircut I had in Albania. She did her best. And we move. I guess it's not much of a life update, but I gave you the stuff I've been reflecting on and a little bit of life. But I ain't been doing much. But what you want to hear the quality of my naps? Superb. Melinda, you are so humble, girl. No, I'm joking. You've done some amazing things of late. Several all those accolades in your podcast. Oh yeah, thank you. What? Not you watching me, Melinda. So, your girl got a little press ball rolling. It started in December with Forbes. The podcast got into Forbes, and then there was Afar Travels did an article. Essence listed the podcast. Travl Noir listed the podcast. I think that's like the fourth time for Travl Noir. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Travl Noir girl. Shondaland did a little snippet. And there's one more or one or two more. But it was cute though. I was like, okay. Now let me go back to sleep. It did feel weird getting depressed and like not having nothing going on. I was like, man, I should have had something set up. See, this is why you gotta have your stuff together. No regrets though, because again, the nap's superb. Thank you, curls poppin'. Where did you move, Janelle? Hey, girl. Thank you, Janelle. Oh, thank you, Janelle, specifically for the tip, for the donation. Thank you, everyone. I need to be better about starting my videos and ending my videos with that for all the financial support from forever. I appreciate everything y'all do so much for joining the collective on Patreon or coming to the events, like whatever. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for being here with me now today. I hope that you've had a good time. What do you need from us, the community? How can we be more supportive? What do I need? What do I need? So I feel like I need y'all. That's what I need. So last fall, I added the moderators, and they've been in the group stimulating conversations. I would love more of an ecosystem with all of your expertise, all of your personalities, all of your talents and know-how. And I would love to collaborate more and do more stuff with you all. That would be amazing. I think that that's what community is us holding hands, showing up with and for each other. Um, I think that's what I need. You want to come on stage right now, Nadia? I'm not gonna do that to you. But thank you for asking that. Janelle said, "Great question." Yes, thank you for asking that. That's what it's always. That's what I want from y'all. I want y'all to shine. I want y'all to be in this dope process as well, which many of you already are, and that's amazing. And so, just stepping out, but you don't have to step out unsupported. So, and run your mouth. That's how anything spreads, is by people talking about it. If you listen to an episode of the podcast and something hits you, share to your stories, tweet about it, put it on your Facebook, tag. It's the same stuff that you'll want people to do with whatever you put out. If you are putting stuff out, you don't want crickets and tumbleweeds. You want people talking about the work that you do, because it's work that matters to you and because it's impacting them. So imagine you just sitting there, your whole life changing, and you're not telling nobody. Like, that don't work. So whenever you can, share. And I love sharing y'all stuff too. I usually focus on the mastermind ladies and the collective crew that are on my Patreon. And that's where I usually start, because I want to support the people who are supporting me as well. So yeah. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. It has been gorgeous and lovely and wonderful, and I can't wait till the next time. And I hope you have the best afternoon of your life if you're on the other side of the world, and the best evening if you are on this side of the world. Bye, girl. Y'all be good.